a legendary finale. The episode begins with yet another invasion, but Donnie's having a kind of hard time of it because he falls into some boxes and even trips and falls into the X-Borgs who are even laughing at him. And they're just robots. Then they go legendary Jungle Fury and finish them off with some cannon. Rekar is very mad about this, but Levere keeps trying to tell them that they're underestimating the pirates. Rekar is like, whatever, they're just pirates, send me in there, Emperor, I can deal with them. But first, they stop by to see Damaris in the cells. Rekar brags to Damaris that he's going to achieve the unlimited rewards from capturing Marvelous, and now it's time for your daily beating. Until Damaris just blows the door off the cells, revealing he's way stronger than he's been letting on, and he only stayed in the cells for his loyalty to the Emperor and to get penance for what he did to Vakar. He takes the wanted poster of Marvelous and heads out. Meanwhile, Luca found a magazine with a poster for a movie, and look, the guy looks just like Donnie as a warrior. Donnie does not take this super well, though, because he's always wanted to be a great warrior and learning about the past of Miranoi, but he just never lived up to it. Luca and Orion tries ensuring him, but he's just still not feeling it, so they try to have a day out with him. Meanwhile, Damaris finds Burden, just kind of doing his own thing, and he says he has a plan. So the pirates and the mega team decide to try and cheer Donnie up by having a day out, and they go to like the arcade and water balloon fight or whatever, and just nothing's really going through Donnie. So Gia suggests a concert, and it's kind of appealing to Donnie until Damaris shows up. He flexes his strength by blowing up a building nearby. Everyone morphs and they fight, but it turns out Damaris is way stronger than they had any idea. And not helping is Burden is nearby and he morphed, and he uses his trumpet to summon the Psycho Rangers. Or at least all of them but the red one, because Burden's the red one. He just wipes the floor of everyone. Jake gets knocked away and Donnie tries protecting both Troy and Marvelous, as Burden uses his final wave to seemingly blow up the rest of the teams. Donnie gets up just to get smacked away from Damaris, who captures the Red Rangers. Donnie is incredibly upset, because now it's only the two of them. The Red Rangers wake up on the command ship. Mavro congratulates Damaris and gives him a full pardon. Rekar wants to instantly destroy the two Red Rangers, but Mavro has a better idea. With Jake and Donnie, they're on the Red Galleon, upset. But Donnie starts remembering different clips from the past episodes. And suddenly, on all the TV stations, the Zangiak broadcasts that they captured both Red Rangers, revealing the identity of Troy to the world, and they have them tied up, ready to get executed. So Jake, Donnie, and Navi have to come up with a plan to rush right in. Donnie goes legendary Mystic Force, and they combine their powers, so Jake summons a rock, and Donnie captures it with some vines and swings it around the X-Borgs. And in the distraction, Navi shows up and frees the Red Rangers, flying them to safety. And it's revealed the other members of the teams were actually saved by Sally. And in that confusion, Burden comes out of nowhere and stabs Damaris in the back, literally, saying he's only worked with Zangiak to get the greatest treasure in the universe. And if anyone's gonna kill Marvelous, it's gonna be me. Everyone morphs, roll calls, and we get a legendary Forever Green. Fighting to take out the X-Borgs and the Royal Guards, but Damaris knocks them back to base form. So they hit him with a final wave blast and slash, and even a green wave. Orion goes Samurai Storm, and Donnie and Bailey go Thunderstorm and slash him, holding him in place when they use some more finishers on him. Burn jokes that's what Damaris gets for trusting me, and he makes his leave. As he grows giant, they use the legendary Zords on him. And afterwards, they all go to that concert Gia wanted to go, and Donnie's feeling a lot better. As Burden on his ship is feeling a lot worse, with purple veins, and he's coughing up something nasty using the powers of the dark side of the morphing grid. The Emperor's mad, but he just simply says to summon all the navy of the Empire to Earth. Navi predicts uncover the mysterious ninja master to uncover the riches you're after. Donnie immediately knows what that means. It's gonna be Ninjor. Everyone thinks that's kind of weird, but Orion gets it, so they ask Gosei for directions to his secret palace, the Temple of Power. Meanwhile, the Zangiak, The Emperor demands Elvira prove herself, so she goes and follows the Red Galleon. The Rangers find their way into the temple, and Marvelous finds the jar that Ninjor is hiding in, forcibly kicking him out. Ninjor gives them the whole why you here, why you want, and the pirates make their case for the greatest treasure in the universe, so they can free it from the Zangiak. But Ninjor asks, why? Why would you think you're worthy enough to use the greatest treasure in the universe? I mean, you stole the Ranger keys. Revealing that Ninjor knows who the pirates are, they try explaining, well, we need the keys to save the universe, and we also need the greatest treasure. This goes back and forth until the Levira Megazord's attacking. The pirates smack it down and have to fight Levira on foot with a bunch of royal guards. They also captured Sally and her lovely new necklace. So Orion summons his Zord and does what he always does and fights some giant bruisers, as the rest of the team go legendary Tommy Oliver and turns into all of his past ranger forms. They fight Levira, and finishing her with a red wave, they take Sally, who's clearly hurt, back to the Red Galleon to heal her up. The team's upset they're not able to get the powers from Ninjor, but they're happy that Sally's doing better. But later that morning, she seemingly stole the Ranger keys and ran away. They find her in the woods about to give the keys to Burden, and now Sally has to make a decision because, well, the Rangers treated her way better than Burden ever did. So yeah, she just gives the keys back to the pirates. Burden's like, figures. Even a space monkey needs to learn to stop trusting me. He takes the thing out of his pocket, pushing it, and it turns out Sally's new necklace is a bomb. Marvelous tries pulling the bomb off of Sally, but she just ends up pushing Marvelous away for his own safety. Everyone else morphs, and the pirates go Ninja Storm, and even Lost Galaxy, and even Orion using Mighty Morphin White and Zeo Gold, but Burden, even without the Psycho Rangers, just walks through everyone. Meanwhile, Marvelous wakes up in the woods, and he's still holding a piece of Sally's necklace. In a threatening call, Burden reveals he knows the ninja has the greatest treasure, and he's about to execute his crew. So Marvelous has to hightail it, guns blazing, screaming Burden, but he also has X-Borgs that push him into a nearby warehouse, so Marvelous goes legendary every Red Ranger to fight off the X-Borgs, while also showing his knowledge of every Power Ranger, thanks to Donnie and the rest of his crew. Eventually gain the pirate, and the two cause explosions and leap at each other and have their final duel, with Burden legendary changing to Let's Go Psycho, Psycho Red, but Marvelous puts his foot down on Burden's, and he uses Burden's saber to stab through both of their feet. Marvelous stating, I'm done, Burden, we end this now. They both charge up legendary final waves and hit each other point blank, blowing each other up. The episode begins with a big recap of the pirate stories that were told in the past episodes, while expanding on it by showing what happened after Marvelous delivered the refugees from Miranoi to KO-35, where Marvelous met with his old friend Andros, and he agreed to take on the refugees. KO-35 is one of the safest places in the galaxy. But Marvelous, before letting the refugees go, he states, anyone who wants to stay back, find the greatest treasure in the universe, and stop the Zangiak is allowed to stay. And half the crew just leaves. But Bailey's there, and she has a very similar speech to Boom in SPD, stating that she's staying for a better tomorrow. This led to all the pirates meeting, and of course we get the recap of the beginning of the whole series, further expanding of the pirates discovering the command base, going in and stealing the Ranger keys. Gosei's missing from his normal spot as the Rangers are smashing the glasses and taking the Ranger keys. Donnie leans into the area that Gosei's usually at, and he touches the ground, which sends him flying, crashing into Jake's monitor. It fries his hair all sticking up, and he's like, cool, I know who these Rangers are. As Marvelous in the same area discovers the chest, and inside is the legendary Morphers, and it's revealed that Donnie was the one that grabbed the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger key. In present time, right after Burden and Marvelous blew each other up, Burden's the first one to lean up, all panting and bleeding out the mouth. But Marvelous also gets up, and it's revealed that the blast was actually stopped by the piece of Sally's necklace. Burden's like, ironic. I can't even trust my own skills. He collapses and he burns away into negative energy, which also destroys the Psycho keys and his key. Donnie takes his trumpet and Marvelous states that now Burnham's part of the Dark Morphing Grid and he collapses. The next day, Marvelous wakes up and Navi's excited to state that he's alive, but Marvelous realizes there's something different. The ninja appears on the Red Galleon, revealing to the pirates that they have completely proved themselves worthy. By proving that you would blow yourself up for your team, you have proven your selflessness. Navi gets prediction, but then Ninja just grabs her before she's able to hit her head, stating the greatest treasure in the universe is hidden where the adventure first began. Then comedically just tosses her away like a can. But Donnie says we can't go all the way back to Miranoi. Ninja stating not that beginning, the beginning of Rangers, or at least on this planet. And to get there really quick, he uses his magic powers to turn Navi into a door, unlocking it with the Ranger keys. Heading in, and there it is, the greatest treasure in the universe. They grab it, heading out the door, reappearing in the command base, and Navi reappears with them. Gosei revealing that they must have gotten it from Zordon's old command center. And Ninja reveals that the greatest treasure in the universe is a wish. It can be anything at all, and everyone's really excited and states that they can use this to wish the Zangiak never formed. But Ninja reveals there's a drawback. If we use it, then it will siphon up all the Morphing Grid energy in this dimension, completely severing it forever. Not even the Ranger keys can bypass it. Well, now everyone's in a pickle because, well, they can wish the Zangiak never existed, but without the Morphing Grid, there'll be no Power Rangers to stop anything that would take its place after, so... With the Zangiak, Redcar reveals a new, very powerful energy signature on their detectors, which Mavro realizes is the greatest treasure and launches the invasion. And I don't mean the normally very large invasion, I mean they blanket the sky in Imperial and normal Zangiak cruisers. They blast a little and everyone comes outside to witness. Even the White Chariot comes into orbit and it projects Mavro giving a speech, stating that they gave Earth time. They gave them more leeway than most other planets, and in return they destroyed his son Vakar. That means this planet has no choice but to give up the greatest treasure in the universe or it will be demolished. The fleet starts attacking, and we see the Astro Mega ship trying to break the blockade, taking out some Imperial ships, and it's revealed to be piloted by both Andros and Zane, in space Silver and Red Ranger. Noah's stuck under a girder that Jake tries helping him out of, but then Carter and Dana, the Lightspeed Red and Pink Ranger, help him out. Leo and Michael save a family and their dog. Cassie and TJ, the in-space Pink and Blue Rangers, save some people from an elevator. A car is about to fall off a bridge, but then suddenly Tommy appears, helping the parents out, and in a very Amazing Spider-Man way, he helps the kid out by letting him wear the Mighty Morphin White Ranger helmet and grab onto Saba. Rowanite is saving a village in Africa. Cole and Casey save a zoo. Wes and Eric are taking out X-Borgs. Chip's at a hospital comforting people by giving them Mystic Force plushies. Justin saves some people stuck in a Krispy Kreme, and he takes some donuts for himself. Ethan's in his office saying that Dr. Billy is making sure the systems are fully operational, hitting a button activating some Pacific Rim-style vaults that civilians get to stay in. Trent helps people get to the vaults, as well as the mecha team. The pirates agree to hold off on using the treasure for at least now to go save people. Everyone's on a lot of despair about the invasion, but a kid tries comforting her mom, saying that, well, the Power Rangers will save us. But then Redcar heard them and says, think again! The Zangiak are here, and if we don't get the greatest treasure in the universe from those stinking pirates, we'll execute you. And even after we get the treasure, we'll still destroy this planet. Ha 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 ha! But then suddenly the first wave of X-Borgs get destroyed, and we see that Orion's carrying the pirate's banner, and the pirates stand above the crowd. In a very countdown to final destruction way, they morph in front of everyone, and says the Mega Ranger line of Earth Defenders never surrender. Picking up from right at the end of the last episodes, the pirates fight, Marvelous turning Mighty Morphin red with the dragon shield to defeat the royal guards. This ends up inspiring a lot of the civilians to take up arms against the Zangiak. The pirates come up with a plan. Orion and Marvelous sneak off and uses Bird and Ship to sneak into the Zangiak. Meanwhile, everyone else stays behind. It goes south quick because Bird and Ship gets shot and crashes right into the white chariot. So now Marvelous and Orion have to fight their way through the ship. Finding Mavro, who is so unimpressed he's gonna sit down.
This is for my planet!
Turns out he's right, he's really strong, he doesn't have to stand for this.
Now do you understand why I rule an empire while you are inept fools?
But Orion goes gold mode, which gets the Emperor to back off, so Marvelous activates the White Chariot's cannons and starts firing them willy-nilly. Redcar gets confused enough, so Joe turns Shadow Ranger and the rest go the Extra Rangers. No, it is not weird at all seeing Donnie turn into the Sentinel Sword. And then they hit Redcar, it might be Demorph, but they still hit him with a blue wave. Everyone gets pushed to the front of the bridge, so Marvelous and Orion know what to do. They charge up their finishers and shoot the console, causing the White Chariot to crash. Everyone thinks they went down with the ship, but they're fine. Well, until the entire might of the Zangiak army is right around the corner. There's like a bajillion of them. There's no way they can stop them from getting the treasure. Until they start hearing archival audio of the past Rangers morphing, and they start appearing. And then a whole bunch of them appear out of big portals from all different timelines and dimensions and past and future and whatnot. And how are these portals opened? Well, the reasons. Who's also probably behind enchanting Navi to have future predictions. And they approach the Mega Team and the pirates and all the actors we can get our hands on, take their helmets off, and we recognize a bunch of them from even throughout the season. Tommy says they're here to help, while Cassie says they're completely worthy of the legendary powers of the Power Rangers, and they come up with a plan. The legendary Rangers will stay behind and fight the Zangiak army, the pirates will sneak around to deal with the Emperor, who probably also survived the crash. Orion and Roy will head back to the Command Center to guard the greatest treasure in the universe, while the rest of the Mega Team is going to be in front of the legendary Ranger army. They ready? And someone yells, "May the power protect," and they charge, beginning the actual legendary battle. Everyone gets a little bit of time to shine with clips used from everywhere, even throw in some unused footage from past episodes, to give some specific Rangers a little more time to shine in the action. Even Ninjor is there. Even a little bit of original footage, like Mike the Samurai Green Ranger having a hard time dealing with a bunch of X-Borgs until Tommy hops in and saves him, saying, "Hey, let me help you with that." And he gives him the Dragon Shield, and he's full of energy now. At the Command Center, Gosei says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And Orion says, "No," grabbing his Trident blaster, "but I am sure I have to do this." The rest of the pirates get smacked around by the Emperor, who demorphs them. Suddenly, Orion says, "Hey, you want the greatest treasure? Then have it." And he tosses it at Mavro, and everyone's like, "What? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Yes." And he orders over comms to launch a special project to go with this. But as it's in the air, he charges up his Trident blaster, shooting the greatest treasure in the universe, destroying it, causing a Z-wave that takes out the entirety of the fleet of the Zangiak. Mavros is like, "What? Who do you think you are?" And we get a full roll call morph and a big colorful explosion, like Orion always wanted. Marvelous orders, hit him before he has time to respond, so they hit him with just about every Ranger they could think of at the time, leading to some interesting combos, like the ladies using Goggle and Supersonic's ribbons to hold Mavro in place as the guys use the turbo and RPM keys to run past him really fast, and hit him with Pterodactyl power, Brotherly Fire, Omega Punch, some Zeo power, then legendary Battleizer, running right through the Emperor, and then it goes Super Ranger! Eventually Orion hits him with a legendary crash, splitting his sword in half. Everyone combines their finishing moves and makes a legendary shooting splash. Then Orion uses the pirate bazooka, stabbing it right into the Emperor, and hitting him with a silver wave. Tossing him back, everyone thinks they got him, but he's still not done, as that special project finally lands. The Zangiak Megazord. Everyone in the confusion misses Mavro jumping into it, very Dino Thunder style. It's so big and evil, the Z-Wave didn't do anything to it, and just as the civilians thought it was safe to come out, they have to run back into the vaults. Mavro boasting, thanks to the power of Davy Jones, this planet will be destroyed. The Rangers hop in their Megazords, but they just get, knocked back. Robo Knight tries charging the mech just to get smacked back into his Ranger form. All the adults in the vaults are being very pessimistic about their options, but that kid from the Mountain episode says they shouldn't give up. Being in front of everyone saying that we shouldn't give up, the Rangers aren't. They're completely outmatched by that monster. As long as we can continue to dream of a better tomorrow, our imagination will take us to wonderful places rather than just giving up on it and getting nowhere. All the other kids in the vault starts cheering on the Power Rangers as they're not doing super well, which starts inspiring the rest of the vault to start cheering. Across the world, everyone is cheering for the Power Rangers. And a big light starts appearing in the sky, collecting all the Z energy in the sky, and suddenly, bam! Every Power Ranger Megazord fully operational. It's amazing. It's a miracle. The greatest miracle in Earth's history. Rufus and the Master Red ship and Garvin and the Space Ace lead the first attack. But Mavro uses the power of Davy Jones to resurrect more monsters. And hey, apparently he did care about Vrak, or at least enough to use him in a fight, leading to the legendary Megazord battle, which is one of the coolest things ever. They put the generals back in the ground, and Marvelous unlocks the Master Red Ranger key, which leads to the legendary Pirate Megazord to combine with the Red Master ship, creating the legendary Power Ranger Megazord, finishing them off with a legendary Power Ranger wave, cutting the Zangiak Megazord in half as well as the Emperor. The whole world rejoices. There's rainbows and happiness in the world. And Tommy says the pirates are truly legendary Rangers. And then everyone awkwardly heads home, with Tommy making sure to get back to Dragon Shield. The pirates and the Mega Team collapses and laughs on the beach. But Noah asks the question, well, what now? And Donnie very smartly states, well, the Zangiak are gone, so we're going to head back out in space and defeat any warlord that comes in our way and make sure that every planet is liberated, starting with Miranoi. Troy asks if they're going to ever see the pirates again, and Marvelous states they will. He'll make sure of it. Marvelous takes out his pirate saber and stabs it into the ground right next to his bionic foot. Everyone's kind of like, what? But then Marvelous starts chuckling about it and everyone laughs with him. Later, Orion gives all the Mega Team friendship flowers, a cultural thing for him, and he'll miss Emma the most. Robo Knight and Roy are tied at second, and they do a weird friendship handshake. Marvelous fashions a new necklace out of that piece of Sally's necklace that saved his life, and the Pirate Rangers head on to the Red Galleon. They wave goodbye to all the people they saved. We see a bunch of the people throughout the series waving back at them. Marvelous noticing the Red Master Ranger standing on the front of the ship, and they give a little nod of approval. He says, "Adios, Dad." As he disappears into the morphing grid, the Pirate Rangers set sail for their next adventure. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rewrite of Power Rangers Super Megaforce, and I hope you hit that like button and subscribe for my next adventure.